Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special episode 380 of the Two Player Co-op podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Fantastic. But if this is the first time you're ever seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op podcast, where just about every week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. If you only listen on audio services, that's cool too. Just give us a thumbs up, 5-star review, or whatever your service allows. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop, where we got a lot of different benefits for you people. But the most popular tier is the $5 producer tier, which lets you watch us record this live on YouTube as we are doing right now. Also, you get a bonus episode every month. Also, if you miss a live recording, you always get the podcast in full, the edited version, live on YouTube one day early before it goes live for everybody else. Except this week, because this is kind of a big deal, and we couldn't record last night because we had tornadoes and stuff all around here. So this is going to go live for everybody on Friday. I don't know why I'm pointing. Some of our patrons deserve a shout out, just like the man with the bar named after him, our patron saint, Mr. John Tingley. Also, our affiliates, Derek Bamford, James Solar. Make sure you check out James Games and more on YouTube. And Mom. Also, our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, and Dustin Downs. If you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can always go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop. Sean. Well, first off the top, this isn't, if you've watched or listened to us before, this isn't going to be like our normal podcast. We've got one topic. It's all we're talking about. No wrap up. No what have you been playing. None of that. We're going to just get into it. But first, I have something to banter about. Sean does too. Sean, what would you like to banter wittily about?
Mine was just that I
decided
to rewatch Last of Us Season 1 in preparation for Season 2. Not like I don't know or remember what happens, so I only watched the first 2 episodes so far. I might get another one in tonight. It is so freaking good. I mean, I know it's only, is it 10 episodes? I don't know. It's not much, and I don't know how many seasons we're going to get.
I think it's 10.
But just watching like the first 2 episodes, and I'm sure some of it is the connection I have to the game.
Yeah.
But even the show, just taken in a vacuum, it's perfect. Like the first 2 episodes are just, and I think they all are, but just the first 2 episodes, I'm already like, oh my God, I forgot how good this was. So, regardless of what may or may not happen in Season 2, I love it. It's a perfect show. It's, even though it's only been 1 season, I mean, it's up there with my favorite shows of all time.
Yep, and they're about to just completely flush it down the toilet in Season 2. Actually, probably not. Hi, John Tingley. He commented on the Patreon post and said, hi. James, I'm so tired. We were up because we had tornadoes warnings and watches all around us and a level 5 severe weather threat. I didn't go to bed till I didn't fall asleep. I was just telling Sean before we recorded, I don't even know, 12:31, 1:30, and woke up at 5:30. So I'm not on my game tonight. We'll get you on the podcast soon, sir. I do apologize for that. But I did say, Sean, I got something to banter wittily about too. And it is
Okay.
I did it.
Why did you do it?
I got a PS5 Pro if you're listening on audio services around the globe. Because I was thinking to myself, first off, decent bonus this year. I actually got over 100% payout, which was nice. And I'm like, I never buy myself anything with the bonus. It's just like, yay, money. Okay, let's pay off credit cards and stuff like that. It's just like no fun. So I did this and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to sell my old one. Not on eBay. I'm never going down that route again. I'm just going to Facebook marketplace it to try to recoup some money. And the main reason, though, is I thought about it and I was like, man, there's a lot because he has money to burn, apparently. No. But, okay. we're a week away or whatever from Indy coming out. PS5 Pro patch. Then in May we got Doom. Then in June, and maybe Elden Ring. I don't think I'm going to play it. In June, Death Stranding 2. August, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, my favorite game of all time. And then at some point we got GTA 6 coming out. And I was like, you know what? The hell with it. Also, I tell myself that the last generation, there was no cut to the generation. It just like the PS4 just now is finally like kind of starting to die off. So I can tell myself that the PS6 is probably going to cost $800. I'm guessing that generational gap is going to do the same thing where there isn't a gap. And I can probably play most of things I wanted on this thing. So that's what I told myself.
So you're not going to get the PS6 when it comes out?
That's what I told myself. I won't have to, but I probably will. Indy ran at a locked 60 frames per second on Series S. Okay, it's 720p. I'm very excited, though.
You're happy.
I am happy. I had to do it. This was the reason.
Even, like, hooked it up yet?
I've hooked it up. That box is empty now. I would not be lifting it. It is surprising to see how small, relatively, the Pro is compared to the big old monster, which is the launch PS5 that you and I have. It is
right.
That thing is a monster.
What did you get for your PS5? 300?
Oh, I haven't sold it yet. I'm waiting until. So I've got the new one. I've got it set up, and I did like a data transfer. By the way, if you ever get a new one, if you get a Pro, whatever, you can transfer data either over Wi-Fi or you can hook up an Ethernet to both systems. Wi-Fi, it told me it was going to take 43 hours, I think, to move everything over. And I said, nope, cancel. And then I was like, wait, let me grab a, what's it called? Ethernet cable, hook it up, go through it. And it's like, oh, it'll take 49 minutes. I was like, that's much better. James says he meant it'll run great on Pro. I like that. Indy is so good. I can't wait. I cannot believe I went from like thinking this game didn't make any sense to being so excited for it, but got a PS5 Pro. Yeah. So all I've done is got it set up. I haven't like played anything pro worthy. I mean, D-Lit and Wonder Labyrinth, I think looks amazing now. That pixel art really pops. No, but I'm excited. I wanted to do it, but yeah, I'll let you know once I sell the PS5, I'll let you know, but yeah. So that's that. Sean?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're here to talk about the Switch 2 Direct. Before we jump into everything that was revealed, what were your overall thoughts on the Direct? Because I remember a little birdie told me that Sean was like, why would I buy a Switch 2? Like, I don't need it. I don't even know who this is for. That's what a birdie told me. So, Sean, what did you think of the Direct overall? And then we'll get into everything that we saw there.
Overall thoughts. I think it was pretty good. I stand by the fact that it's kind of a... I still say it's switched to TLOU. But it was a very Nintendo presentation, for better or for worse. I think I'm to the point now where, yeah, I'm probably going to get it. But I honestly don't know why, and I cannot even begin to quantify it. Like, I don't know why. It's not like there's a new game that I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta have it, and I can only have it if I play on Switch 2. Like, there was nothing. I mean, there's some stuff that's Switch 2 exclusive, don't get me wrong, but there was nothing that was like, oh my God, I can't miss this. That's it, I'm in. It's honestly more just FOMO at this point, I think. Like, it looks cool. I know everybody's going to buy it. And it's kind of like, well, I want one too. And I miss how excited I was about the Switch when I had it. And I think I never got the OLED. So I think going from a base Switch to this is going to be a huge, even though it's not OLED, it's going to be a huge improvement. I know Kira's getting to the point now where she can actually play video games and stuff. So I'm sure there's stuff, she'll probably play it too. But yeah, I don't know. It was a good presentation. I don't know why I want it. I stand by that. but
I do.
kind of want to get it at this point. Yeah. So
Yeah, I think I've always been closer to buying it than you had been, but I do think after watching this, I'm in. Also, it's different for me because I've got 3 kids. Well, I mean, all 4 of my kids are older than yours, but you know what I mean. I've got 3 boys that are like, hell yeah, Mario Kart, hell yes, man, hell yeah, whatever, and they're gonna want to play everything on it. They've already said, "So, Dad, are you gonna get it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, Dad's gonna get it, of course." Did I just buy a PS5 Pro? Yes. Am I gonna buy a Switch too? Yes. And Nick also was like, what are you going to do with your old PS5? I was like, don't even think about it. You already got a PC up there. You don't need a PS5. We don't need 3 PS5s in this house. Then I'm starting to be like Colin, and that's ridiculous. I thought it was I thought it was an awesome direct for most of it. Now, I will say, and I'll explain it when we get there, I'm probably in the major minority. John Tingley. I just said the major minority. That was really stupid. I think I'm definitely in the minority, but I will say that the direct really kind of fell off for me that last 10 minutes or so, whatever it was, 5 minutes. I can't remember. I'll cover that when I get to it. I think I'm definitely going to be in the minority.
The major minority.
The major minority. The minor fall, the major lift. But overall, I loved it. I still think it was very, very good. It just was awesome until we got to that last 5-10 minutes. But like I said, I'll get there when I get there. All right, Sean. Switch to direct. It was an hour long. They kick us off first, unsurprisingly, with Mario Kart 9. That's what we thought it would be, but it turned out to be Mario Kart World. I think we have to say that Dustin does not get credit on the fantasy draft. I'm just kidding. So he said new Mario Kart. I said Mario Kart 9, but he said new Mario Kart. Yes.
Do you remember a year or so ago? I don't remember if this was a rumor online or something that one of us came up with. Do you remember talking about how the next Mario Kart might be, or could be, or should be open world? Because we talked about it on this podcast, and I don't remember if that was a rumor and we covered it, or if that was something I just came up with. I'm like, here's how you could do something cool with the next Mario Kart. But they kind of did. I mean, they absolutely did it.
They straight up,
so it's what do you call it? Okay, you've already got it on here. Yeah, you beat me to it. But yeah, yes.
They Forza Horizon 5'd it. I mean,
yes.
If first, okay, so let me run through everything I wrote down here. We saw boats, we saw snowmobiles, we saw grinding like you're in Jet Set Radio. You can wall ride. It seems like there's power-ups that we're changing their outfits in the middle of the races, right? Or was that, I wonder if that was just like showing off the different outfits. I couldn't tell because I was also trying to type and watch at the same time.
So I was trying to drive and watch at the same time.
God.
Because I wasn't to work yet. More on that later, but yeah. I didn't get into an accident or anything.
Well, obviously, yeah. You're still alive. It seems so much bigger. Like even before we found out that it was officially like open world, although, we didn't get the name until the very end, I don't think.
Right.
It's got an overworld map. I like that they said that the weather will change. It can just be bright sunshine and then it's going to switch to rain in the middle of the race. They said you can drive virtually anywhere. Then they went into the 3 main modes. So there's the classic Grand Prix. The difference now is that when you go from one race to the next, you Forza Horizon 5 it and you drive over to the race. I wrote 25, but I think they said, do you remember, Sean, did they say it's 24 or 25 total racers? I feel like it was 24, but I wrote 25.
I don't remember.
I think it's 24, but it's 20 something racers at one time, which is what everybody had pretty much figured out from that, the initial little tease of Mario Kart World. Then they talked about Knockout Tour, which is a new mode. Oh, I guess, you know what they didn't talk about? There's no battle mode, I guess.
Battle mode's stupid. I loved that back on like a Super Nintendo, but I don't know.
So Knockout Tour, like I said, it's a new new mode where you race nonstop from one side of the world to the other. There's different checkpoints along the way, and to stay in the race, you have to be at a certain level when you hit those checkpoints. This seems really cool. and then you can also
I
free
love
roam it.
I think it's so cool.
They said in free roam you can drive around with your friends. You can go basically anywhere. Like I said, you can stop and take pictures with your friends, etc. So I'll stop there for now. Just thinking at the new, the new main modes that we're going to be playing in this thing. What did you think, Sean?
I really love the Knockout Tour. I think that's really cool. It reminds me of the It's a Race. What was that? Rat Race. It kind of reminds me of Rat Race. Um, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna do so many Let's Plays with this.
Yeah.
I think it looks awesome. It's the most excited I've probably ever been about a Mario Kart game. Like I've always liked them. This one finally feels different. I mean, to me, it feels the most different since Mario Kart Wii because you had the motion control,
Yeah.
and the little wheel. Like that was cool. This seems like they are finally like, okay, let's evolve Mario Kart a little bit for the first time, honestly, in like the series. They finally just did something different with it instead of like, here's more characters, here's some new tracks, here's some whatever. Like, no, now it finally feels like, I wouldn't say a different game, but kind of a different game.
Who was it? It was when I was listening to Game Scoop. It was sorry, I'm going to move this over here. Get that over there. Okay. I think it was Sam was saying on Game Scoop, how like, so for Switch 1, obviously we had Breath of the Wild. That was the main launch game. And that was taking Zelda and going into this completely new direction for it. And he's like, this is kind of the Breath of the Wild for Mario Kart. And when he said that, I was like, that's done. Oh no, that's actually, I mean, it's probably obvious. And I'm sure many other people have said that, but I was like, yeah, this is pretty sweet. It is kind of like the Breath of the Wild.
You have to start on foot and build your car along the way.
And Mario's just running around in his
and it gradually
underpants.
just falls apart.
Yeah. That's one thing. I do think I'm going to like this game for a lot longer than I did the Breath of the Wild. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
And it is a Switch 2 exclusive, and it is a launch game. It's coming out on launch day. There's also going to be a special Mario Kart World Direct coming on April 17th. At first, I was like, oh, wow, it's a Switch 2 exclusive. Dang. But then I was like, the Switch, the fact that the Switch can even run Mario Kart 8 is beautiful. And I will say, especially if you're just playing single player, that game is absolutely just knockout, just beautiful.
So
yes,
that's the part where, because I was driving, they said, and it comes out the day that Switch 2 comes out. And then I looked down and I saw April 17th on the screen. I'm like, wait, that it's coming that quick? I'm like, holy crap. And then I was just like, wow, okay, sweet. And then later they're like, hey, it's coming out June 5th. I'm like, wait, what? Because by that point I was at work. I'm like, what did they say? So then I rewound.
I rewinded
this
it.
point. I'm like, oh, there's a direct on April 7th. But they said comes out the day Switch 2 comes out. And then it says April 17th at the bottom. But yeah, I was like, wow, they really just kind of threw that in there. They didn't even make a big deal about it. But
kids,
I was wrong.
This is why you don't direct and drive. We'll talk about him later. I don't know. Anything else? Like yeah. Well, I mean, kind of. I wonder if he's going to talk in that game, actually. That would be hilarious.
He does.
He does?
Well, I guess I don't know if it's him, but I saw something online that, yeah. Not Seth Rogen, but Donkey.
No, I know. Is there anything we didn't touch on? Obviously, on the 17th, we're going to get a lot more. We're going to get a lot more news when the direct airs. Maybe battle mode gets talked about there. This was really just focusing on, to me, what's different, what separates this, which is what they had to do, to not just make people think, oh, it's more Mario Kart. I mean, it is, but it's also a lot more Mario Kart, and I'm into it. I'm excited. Is it the same thing as having a brand new Zelda game to play on launch day? No, but I'm in. Go ahead.
I just hope they support this game the way they supported 8 Deluxe. Like that they kind of had to, because they're like, hey, remember that old game? Well, here it is again. And then they're like, ah, crap, we should probably do something. So it's like, here's some new DLC stuff and whatever. Like, give this game that same love. Like, let it go for a while, and then a year from now, maybe be like, hey, here's some new riders, here's some new tracks, here's some like. I hope they continue to support it at least as much as they did 8 Deluxe.
Yeah. We might as well talk about it here. The thing that everybody is losing their minds about is that this is an $80 game. Now, first off, we were paying $80 for Street Fighter II Special Champion Edition in '93 on the Genesis for its 24 megs of power, and that would cost like double now. Time adjusted and everything. So there is that. But one of the things Sam said, and he's like, I'm not trying to defend Nintendo or anything like that, but Sam on GameScoop, Sam Claiborne said he wonders if the high price tag. First off, I think it's quite obvious that there's the high price tag there. At least part of it is because they're trying to drive people to just buy the bundle. I don't know why, because obviously they would make a bigger margin if you bought it separately, but it just seems like they're trying to get people to just buy the bundle. But with it being $80, obviously we got to think that they will, like you were saying, support this game for a while and roll out new content and content. And maybe like open up new places on the map, stuff like this. But what if those are free updates instead of having to buy the expansion pass or whatever? I was like, I don't know that that's very Nintendo-esque, but you never know. So yeah, $80.
I think we've gone over this ad nauseum in the past about how if games actually kept up with inflation, games would be way more than $80 today. The game industry as a whole, I don't think is sustainable the way where we're at right now. So on one hand, I get it, but we went from $70 to $80 real quick. I mean, Nintendo jumped over the $70 altogether, but like,
well, they had it for one game.
well, yeah. I don't know. For some reason, when $70 games started to become the norm, I'm like, I mean, I get it. Like, I get it. But 80 for whatever reason seems different. Like 60 to 70 wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe it's because 70 is still so recent that I'm not thinking 70 to 80. I'm thinking 60 to 80.
Yeah.
Even though, because
it's been
for
a few
the most
years,
part, that's what Nintendo did. So I don't know. Games could be a lot more expensive today. I'd rather the video game industry survive. And if you got to charge that much, then charge it. And if you don't want to pay it,
I was going to say,
talk with your wallet. Don't buy it. I mean,
don't buy it.
I don't know what you want me to say, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but how much do you want it? Also, who's going to buy this game?
The system
price.
Yeah.
Who's going to buy the system and then later on be like, that Mario Kart game looks pretty cool. I'm going to buy it. Like, if they,
this will have as close to a 1-to-1 attach ratio. Remember, Breath of the Wild was right up there too.
Buying this? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I will say the one thing about the price that has kind of been driving me nuts, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, is like, even I saw, Mr. Maddie Plays was like, I can't believe that 80 is the new standard, blah, 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 Nintendo, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're wrong though. Donkey Kong 70, it's not the new standard. Like, and I know information was coming out all the time and stuff, but then like I saw Angry Joe put up a video where he's ranting about the fact that Mario Kart physically in the US is going to cost $90. And that has literally not been said at all. People are going off information that they've seen secondhand in other countries that shows that the price is more for the physical version. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to, but it right now with US, at least in the US with US content creators and people tweeting and skeeting and stuff, like, it's the Streisand. No, that's not it. What is it? Is it the Streisand effect right now?
I don't know what the Streisand effect is.
Well, but like everybody's just saying it. It's like everybody's just like, it's like a game of telephone. Everybody just keeps saying it, but it's like, well, what's your source? Well, he said it. What's his source? Well, he said that guy said it. What's his source? Well, he said that guy said it. You know what I mean? Like, there's been nothing anywhere that shows MSRP for Switch Mario Kart World physical is $90. I'm not saying it won't be, but everybody needs to chill out. Everybody's just jumping to conclusions on their jumping to conclusions mat, and they need to chill out. That's all I gotta say.
What that just reminded me of, do you ever watch Between Two Ferns?
I've watched clips. I don't think I've ever watched an interview all the way through.
Exactly. Yeah, I've watched little bits here and there, but I've never gone out of my way to watch it. But randomly, it showed up. There was like
the guest is in on it, right?
Popped up on my YouTube. What's that?
The guest is in on it, right?
Yeah.
Like they're acting. Okay. Yeah.
And there was something, I can't even remember who the guest was. John Hamm. I can't remember who it was, but Zach said, I read that you like to blah, 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 whatever it might be. And he's like, oh, where did you read that? He's like, oh, I wrote it right here. That's kind of what this reminds me of.
Oh, that's awesome. I think I have seen that one, but I did not know that was going to come out of there. Oh, that's what okay. Anyways. All right. Next up. So we're going to leave the games behind for a little bit, and we're going to talk about the Switch 2 itself. So they did confirm, obviously, the new Joy-Con are called the Joy-Con 2s. Everything is just the 2. And then the big mysterious C button gets revealed, and apparently the C stands for chat. So here's what I wrote down. You can communicate with others while playing games. I saw there's this menu down at the bottom. There's a microphone that's built into the system, and they are really... I am interested to see how this works, because what they say is that it will pick up your voice from a distance. So if you got your Switch docked over by the TV and you're sitting 15 feet away on the couch and you're like, Kevin, you suck. You don't know how to drift. I'm supposedly going to hear that. And also they're touting voice isolation, which is going to block out all of the noise, of course. It does work in handheld and docked mode. You can change the size of your game screen to like show the stuff at the bottom. Or you can switch to somebody else's gameplay. And then they showed the Switch 2 camera, which is going to be available at launch. There will be camera integration in some multiplayer games, so you can see your little face. And I heard somebody said today, it was also on GameScoop, was like, why they did that, where it just isolates your face, right? So there's not going to be a bunch of dicks, on somebody's trying to play Mario Kart World and there's just a dick for somebody's face, Go ahead. Before I go on my rant about this.
I want to say, and I'm torn on this, not the idea as a whole, but the way it was presented. On one hand, my hat's off to Nintendo. But on the other hand, I'm like, but why? When they showed the feature where you can watch somebody else's gameplay, and it looked like it was like 240p and like 10 frames a second.
10 frames. That's what everybody's been saying. They think it was legit 10 frames. No.
Yeah, I'm like, is my stream buffering? And then I'm like looking like, no, once you look outside of the gameplay window,
everything else is smooth.
Crystal clear.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So on one hand, I'm like, bravo to Nintendo for not showing some bullcrap version that's not exactly how it looks.
For
like, at least
pulling a
Watch
Dogs. Yeah.
But also, like, that's what it's going to look like. Why would anybody do that? And I don't know how many people out there, I don't know if you ever really did it, and I don't know if anybody watching this did, but Mario Maker 2, when you could do like online play, it was terrible.
Oh yeah.
Like you would jump like for some reason they just could not get online play to work. Now this is different. You're not playing, you're just watching, but still, that's immediately what I thought of when I saw this, and especially when I saw how kind of bad it looked. I'm like, you couldn't even get Mario like 8-bit to go all the way. You couldn't get 8-bit Mario to work on two different devices without any lag, and somehow you expect this to just be this weird seamless, like, hey, look, I'm sharing my gameplay now, you can watch. And again, to be fair, they showed it looking kind of bad, which it probably will, but I mean, at least they were upfront about it, I guess. I don't know.
The thing that I don't understand, first off, I agree with everything you said there. It looked like shit. Props to them, I guess, but also why? Who the hell, if you're playing a game, if I am playing you and we're online and we're playing, or actually, no, I'm online, I'm playing Mario Kart World. I keep wanting to call it World Tour. Is that what the mobile game was? I think it was.
Yeah.
Mario Kart World. And I get in a game chat with you, and you're over there playing Tears of the Kingdom. Why in the hell, if I'm playing a game, would I want to see what you're playing also on my screen, distracting me with its 10 frames a second? Not even the 10 frames a second. Why would I care what you're playing at all? I'm playing a game and you're playing a game.
I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's also...
I just don't get it.
I mean, you can do it on PlayStation, and we've done it before. Like, I've watched you playing something before, but yeah, I would just log
You've
in.
watched me. You haven't been playing... It's not like I was playing
Right.
GTA Online and you were
it's not
playing
like-
Dark Souls.
Right, yeah.
But yeah,
I
if
can
you're just
see
going
wanting to do the screen share thing,
Yes.
like, I get that, but nobody's going to really do it while... But yeah, that seems kind of strange.
It's just weird. But I will say at least this for Nintendo. They've come a long way, because at launch for the Switch 1, they didn't have any kind of chat. And then when they did have chat, they're like, guess what? You can download an app on your phone, which already is a phone. You don't need an app to call somebody. Stupid. So I'll give them that at least. So game chat will obviously require Switch Online subscription, but to try to get people to use this, I guess really it's to try to get people to... Oh, that was another thing I heard. I imagine you can toggle the screen share and choose to just have exactly that. Well, that's what I meant, James. Thank you for that. I like the chat feature and everything. I just don't want I wouldn't care if I saw Sean's face down there. That'd be fine. It's the gameplay thing that I just don't understand if I'm also playing a game. It was said somewhere in one of their all the websites that they put out after the stream, the Switch 2 supposedly is compatible with any USB-C webcam. So you don't if you've already got one.
I was going to ask that question.
Yeah. If you've already
I
got
assumed
one,
it wouldn't be. So that's kind of shocking.
I assumed also. And we'll get to compatibility stuff later, but this thing is actually more compatible than I thought it would have been. But yeah, if it's a USB-C camera that you have, you can just use that. You don't have to spend $60 or whatever on the Nintendo camera. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Game Chat does use Switch Online. However, to try to get people to buy the camera and get Switch Online and all that, they're in it. The Game Chat feature is going to be in open access until March 31st, 2026. So basically, they're like, Jeb, please clap. Just please try it. Just please buy the camera. Then they talked about Game Share. So the Switch 2 can use Game Share to play games together locally if only one person owns the game. So you can share your game with up to 3 systems at a time. It is restricted to certain games now, but there will be more updates in the future. Cool. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just nothing I think that I would ever use, because I'm only going to have one Switch 2 in this house. I'm not going to have more than one. I'm guessing even if it's a Switch game.
I guess it would be cool.
Did they say that this worked with Switch 1 also? Chat, let me know, because I can't remember.
I don't think so. Yeah, I'm trying to think, even if I brought my Switch over, like
if we're doing a Let's Play,
playing
we're just going to play with
Mario
controllers.
Party. Yeah, like, so I don't. I mean, again, I'm sure there's a use case for it that I don't really understand how we would ever use it, but maybe different people in different situations would. I don't know.
I mean, it's a thing where I get no, because then you're just playing one game. You all use controllers. I don't know. So then we got a system overview of the Switch 2. They confirmed the screen is bigger at 7.9 inches, but the system is the same thickness as the original Switch. Now, hold on. It's for online play too. 7.9 inches, is that bigger than what we were hearing that that screen was going to be?
I don't know that we heard. I don't think they had it.
Well, because remember they had all the mock-ups and stuff. I'd have to go back, but that seems like it's bigger than we thought it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be, not that it's a big difference, but more like 7 or 7.1 is the number that jumps out to me. But either way, that's a big ass screen.
That's pretty big, yeah.
So yeah, the screen is 1080p in handheld mode. You can do 120 frames per second in handheld mode. I will say the specs here, I really don't know how they're cramming all this into that little of a package, but I'm impressed. I will say that. But it's on a game by game. Right. Okay. 1080p screen, 120 frames per second. It is LCD. Damn it.
So I don't really know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
But
and HDR.
I thought, I thought HDR you almost needed an OLED for, because that's the only way you
or
can really
QLED or something. Yeah.
black.
Yeah.
Like when they showed the side by side for like with and without HDR, I'm like, it just looks like you turn the brightness up on one. Like it doesn't look. To me, that's not HDR. But I don't. Who am I?
Who's Karim Garcia?
Who is Karim Garcia?
So they talk about the Joy-Con 2s do have magnets. There's a release button to detach them. The one thing I thought was interesting, I can't remember if they talked about it here or later, but they said how, they made the SL and the SR buttons are bigger on the Joy-Con this time. But they also said they're made of steel, I think they said. And that's what the magnets attach to.
I don't think I realized until now, I guess, that it's literally just magnets. I thought they were magnets that like suck it in, whatever, but once it still like clicks and there's like a hit, like a release thing, and the only way you can, but no, it's like an electromagnet, I guess, and the switch,
because when you
thing like turns it off,
it turns it kills the circuit so you can remove it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they were saying, or there's
a part of me like I don't want to do it, but I want to, when this thing comes out, I want to find a YouTube video and be like, I want to see if you can pull hard enough to separate it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
If there's no physical attachment to it and it's just magnets, it's like, if you can pull hard enough.
As long as you don't crush the Joy-Con in your hand.
To mine.
Yeah, no.
Right.
But they did show somebody tugging on it or something. This has been a lot of innuendos here. So yeah, I don't know. The sticks are bigger. Again, what is this conversation we're having? So yeah, the analog sticks are bigger. Mouse control, they did confirm it. It is with either Joy-Con, right or left. There's better speakers. There's the built-in microphone. We knew that. Noise cancellation, 3D audio. Another thing I was like, maybe I should have assumed it would be there, but with Nintendo, you can never assume. I don't remember hearing 3D audio in any of the leaks and everything. So I like that. We got the bigger stand we knew was there. They confirmed the two USB ports, USB-C ports, one on the top, one on the bottom. They said it's handy for doing the camera attachment if you're docked or if you're in tabletop mode. Also, it's good for charging when you're in tabletop mode. And I was like, oh, yeah. Because if it's on the bottom, you can't charge it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, good on you, Nintendo. It does come with 256 gigs of internal storage, and it is faster, but it's not an SSD. I don't know what it is, but it is faster. Now, the original Switch just came with 32 gigs. 256, I don't think I'm ever going to need I say that now. I don't think I need an SD card for this.
Did you see the Tears of the Kingdom loading comparison?
Yeah.
It's faster, but it's
still not great.
It's not SSD fast.
No, it ain't the PS5 or the series. Yeah. It went from like when you were getting
on the loading screen for like a second and a half. But still, from the time you like disappear,
it was like 17 seconds versus 26 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But the actual loading screen is only like a second or two compared to, I don't know, 5 or 6 before, whatever it was.
Yeah. So. But the thing is,
I guess.
And
it also wasn't designed for Switch 2. Like maybe, I don't know.
But if that's how it is, we're going to get so used to it so quickly. They're going to be like, oh my God, why is this so long? It'll be the same thing. It just won't take a minute and a half or whatever it was when Breath of the Wild first came out to get in and out of a dungeon, whatever it was. So yeah, 256 gigs. internal storage. The reason I'm saying I don't think I'll need an SD card is like, I feel like even Tears of the Kingdom was like 12, 13 gigs, something. I don't know how Nintendo compresses these games the way they do. Now, maybe that's going to change because the Switch 2 is so much more powerful. Maybe the game sizes will get bigger, and maybe I'll eat my words. But again, this thing is mostly going to be a first-party machine for me. I will say now, though, now that we've got more power in handheld and in docked mode, Blade Chimera, like if Blade Chimera would have come out after the Switch 2 came out, but we still didn't know if a PS5 version was coming out, I think I'm going to be more apt to buy games on Switch because we're working with so much more power. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like it's a combination of trophies. The reason I don't buy things on Switch is because, well, I want to get the platinum if it's a game that I think I could platinum. And also it's like, oh God, I got to use the Pro controller. And it's just, this thing's not very powerful. So I don't know. We'll see. Thank God they did confirm the dock will use upscaling to get it to 4K with HDR. There is a cooling fan on the back, which is good. So this is a lot more. The original Switch dock, remember, it was basically just an HDMI pass-through. It didn't do none. Yeah. Except charge. They did say, they reiterated the backwards compatibility with select games, physical and digital. And then they showed the Joy-Con grip 2 thing. I hate that thing. I hate that thing so much. When you take the 2 Joy-Con and you attach it to this little thing, it's so cramped. Like it feels like you're playing like a 3DS or something. But what do you think about all the specs, Sean?
I mean, again, it's a lot of just cool. I still say this seems more like a Switch Pro than a Switch 2. But I mean, they did some cool stuff. I mean, I was impressed when I first saw the OLED in person, and I think this is going to blow that out of the water. At its core, it's still a Switch. It looks like a Switch. It's called a Switch.
Quacks like a Switch. Yeah.
But yeah, they did some cool stuff with it. I mean, it's definitely an improvement, hands down. Yeah.
Then they showed off Switch 2 Welcome Tour, and man, I don't even know. So they show you walking around Metroid Prime 4. I'll get there, James. Yes, it is insane. But I really don't know that I don't know that I've played anything in 120 frames. So maybe I'll try it when Prime 4 comes out to see the difference between 60 and 120. I know from what everybody has said, it's going from 30 to 60 is a much bigger leap than going from 60 to 120. So they show off the Switch 2 Welcome Tour. People are walking around on top of a Switch, and it's like, go over to this question mark, and it's like, oh, did you know how to detach your Joy-Con? And this shows you how the mouse controls work. There's gyroscope stuff you can do with the mouse. There's lots of mini games. There's tech demos. And I was like, well, you know what? I mean, I don't really care about this, but if they're going to just give it to us for free and it's just going to be pre-installed on the Switch 2, like Astro's Playroom was, I'm like, well, whatever. I mean, that's cool. At least it's something. And then they're like, this will be available as a paid digital game. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you that cheap, Nintendo? Now, I think this is going to be $5 or $10, but that's not the point. The fact that it is $5 or $10 shows you should have just put this in. I almost wonder if they're going to change course. Like, I cannot imagine people buying this game. Like I said, I don't care if it's $5 or $10. I'm not paying for this for a basically to get like an interactive manual for my Switch 2. I'm not going to pay for that. You should give me that,
or at least include it with Switch Online. If you have a Switch Online, it's yours for free. Like,
or the Mario Kart bundle.
Yeah.
So, are you going to buy the Welcome Tour?
It looks cool. Like, I'm kind of curious some of the little mini games and stuff, but I think out of principle, no, I'm not buying that.
Switch 2 game cards. It's the same shape as the original, but now it's in a pretty red color and it loads faster. So the system is compatible only with micro SD express cards, not the regular SD cards. Again, first off, I don't know if people are saying this, but I'm sure some people are. They're probably going to compare this to the Vita situation. This is nothing like the Vita situation. That was stupid. Sony was so stupid to do that, to just have proprietary cards. These are SD cards that work in a lot of other things. They're just express. They're faster. I don't know. Would it be nice if you could just use the old SD cards? Yeah, I guess. But with 256 gigs on this thing, I'm not really that worried about it. You?
No, I never got one for my Switch.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
would get one. I'm missing. No.
I think I got one, but I don't know. I might have just got 60. It's either 64 or 128, I think. But I'm not sure. They said you can transfer data between your Switch and your Switch 2 using the system transfer feature. Then they show off the Switch 2 Pro controller. They show that it does have a C button. And it's got the little tabby tabs on the back. And they're calling it GL and GR. It does have an audio jack. They're running out of things to call these things. Like, you got ZR and ZR2. No, that's not what they call it. What do they call the two main triggers?
I think it's just L and R, and then ZL and ZR.
What's ZL and ZR?
The second one, like the big
Oh,
one.
you're right. Okay, yeah. And then G, and then the ones on the Joy-Con are SL and SR. They're getting into like Microsoft Series X and S, type of things here. Are you going to get a Switch 2 Pro controller to get your little back buttons? I will say it's cool that the Pro controller has that.
$80?
Yeah.
That's insane. And it looks a little too It looks a little too much like the original one that I'm like, I don't trust that D-pad. So
that's the first thing I looked at.
so.
I was like,
I mean, if and when my Pro Controller 1 dies, maybe I'll get it. But I don't know that I'll hate just playing with the Joy-Cons and the little Joy-Con adapter thing on this one as much if the buttons aren't so clicky and everything's a little bit bigger and like...
Yeah, they said the SL and the SR buttons are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
All right, so the Switch 2 website, they said it was going to go live after the Direct, and then they revealed the launch date, June 5th. Pretty cool. I'm glad it's a few weeks before Death Stranding comes out. I know that was really big for you, too. June 5th. Makes sense. Everybody was saying June. It makes sense. I don't think we never even said what we thought it would be. I figured it would be June just because that's what everybody was saying, but I didn't have like a prediction. So yeah. Then they talked about there are 3 types of games. I just thought this was funny. There's some stuff in this that is so unintentionally hilarious in this Direct that it's just only Nintendo could do it. They said there's Switch 2 games, there's Switch 1 games, and then there's Switch 2 Edition games. So the first one they show off is Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 Edition. This is adding the Jamboree TV update. It does have mouse controls, audio recognition, better rumble, camera support. Mario Party mode adds the camera for up to 3 people. There's the Bowser Live mode with camera and voice interaction. So like you're actually on the thing and you're like doing the Just Dance stuff. And then there's the Mouse Carnival Coaster where you have to use the mouse and it's just like an on-rail shooter. And then they literally, they show Mario or whoever going up this wall and it's literally the exact same thing that Astrobot does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hello? It's the exact... We were doing this in Astro's Playroom 5 years ago. Don't make it so obvious when you're copying my homework, Nintendo. And you can purchase an upgrade pack. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then they blew my mind. I will say I did not expect this. Now, we'd heard a lot of rumors that Breath of the Wild was going to be getting a Switch 2 patch. And you hear the music and it's like, oh, yep, Breath of the Wild, okay. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And then they said, and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? One of my favorite games of all time is finally going to be playable the way it should have always been. So they said, what I was saying, there's Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, enhanced resolution, enhanced frame rate, HDR support. There's this Zelda Notes thing in this phone app that you can get. It's got like voice navigation to be like, go north to get your Korok seed or whatever the hell it's saying. You can create QR codes for like the stuff that you build. Like if you build a Metal Gear with your Ultra Hand stuff, you can get a QR code for it and you can send it to your buddy. And then they've just got that blueprint. I think that's super cool. And it is free Both of these are free updates for Switch Online Expansion Pass subscribers. Oh, I still need to add you to my family plan. When I saw that, I was like, that's all I care about. I don't care about any Switch 2 editions for any other Switch game I own, just Tears of the Kingdom. And man, and then they showed new amiibo, or no, they didn't show it, but this was announced after the fact. They're doing new amiibo for Tulin, Yunobo, Riju, and Sidon, also coming out on June 5th. Later on, Minoru's Construct is going to get an amiibo. That thing is going to be, that's got to be the biggest amiibo they've ever made.
I assume, yeah.
Also, you were so close, Nintendo. You were so close. This app thing that you get with the Switch 2 editions of these games, in-app achievements. But they're in-app. It's not actual real achievements. It's just like the Switch app is going to tell you, oh, you get a gold star for you've got 25 Korok seeds. Sean, are you going back into Hyrule 1,000 years from now? You know what I'm trying to... That didn't make any sense. Not are you going to go there in 1,000... You know what I'm
probably
saying.
in a few months.
Yeah. Are you going to go back?
Yes, but probably not very long. I think what I want to do... It's probably going to be Breath of the Wild, not Tears. And it's going to be the first 5 minutes just to experience that walking out onto the plateau.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see it in HDR. Let's see it in 4K. Let's see it in 60 frame. Like, let's see all that. Get that experience again. And I'm like, okay, that's enough. Like, I got to see it. Now, maybe it's going to look so good and be so smooth and whatever that all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, let's keep playing for a little bit and see what happens. I don't think that'll happen, but that's probably what I'll do. It'll probably be Breath of the Wild, not Tears. And it'll probably just be the first 5 minutes just to see it. But cool that you don't have to pay for it. I mean, that's very un-Nintendo of them.
Yeah, I was very
you do,
surprised.
but you don't.
Right. I was very surprised. That's a good point. Experiencing the walkout moment, because I've only seen it once. I never started a new save. Yeah. And the only thing that kind of makes me think maybe I won't do a new playthrough on Tears of the Kingdom is, although I'm sure there will be stuff out there when the Switch 2 edition launches, but like one of the reasons I had so much fun with that game is because of the duplication stuff that was still there then. Like, get all the diamonds you need, get all the fruits you need. You just, you jump and you turn your shield into a surfboard and you land on it and one banana turns into 7 bananas or whatever the hell it was. You know what I mean? So I was never stressed out about resources. And pretty much all that has been patched out at this point, I'm pretty sure. With having a new edition of the game, somebody's probably going to find something. I don't know. That also sounds like I'm being a whiny bitch. Also, John Tingley said for the back buttons, grip left and grip right. I think you're right. With the GL and the GR. Makes sense. Then they showed Kirby and Forgotten Land is getting the Star-Crossed World update with its Switch 2 edition. Better resolution and better frame rates. Then we see Prime 4. And hot damn almighty, are you freaking kidding me? Switch 2 edition, obviously. Also, not a launch game. Still just saying 2025. I really was hoping against hope that we would get Mario Kart and this, but I wouldn't have time to play both of them anyways. Prime 4, they showed off mouse support. I really don't know that I'm ever... I will try the mouse thing at some point, probably with a game like this, but...
good enough to use it just full time. And
you're holding one, like you would do with like the Wii nunchuck thing. Like you're holding over here to move around and then she's... pew, 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 pew. I don't know. I'll probably give it a try, but I can't imagine it's going to work that great. But quality mode, 4K, when it's docked, 4K resolution, 60 frames per second in HDR. That's quality mode. Are you kidding me? That's perform. Why is my brain breaking? That's quality mode. Yeah, that's quality mode because it's 4K. Performance mode, 120 frames per second, again, docked, 1080p resolution. Still pretty damn awesome. But again, 4K 60 with HDR, I'm going to play it in that, period. I can't,
Oh, yeah.
Then they also did say, I don't think they said this during the stream. I think I saw this after because I was trying to just get all the news I couldn't fill in the blanks. Handheld mode, you can do quality at 1080p 60 with HDR or performance, 720p, 120 frames per second with HDR. The fact that you get HDR even with performance mode is pretty cool. I think that's a thing on PlayStation, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Pokemon Legends Z to A is getting a Switch 2 mode. I don't really care. Switch 2 editions are available with the upgrade pack. They're also going to be available physically and digitally for full price. We don't know how much those games are going to cost. What do you think about, this is one of the questions we definitely had leading into this, is how are they going to handle Switch 2 games? They also said after the fact that some games are going to get just like updates, kind of like how some PS4 games just play better on a PS5, but they never got a full PS5 patch. They listed Odyssey and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because those games run at, talk about 10 frames a second. But I've talked a lot, Sean. What do you think about all that? The Switch 2 editions, Breath of the Wild, Prime 4, what you got?
I'm going to say something a little controversial.
Okay.
Well, first, let me just say, I can't wait for Prime 4. Having said that, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed, but like it just, I know this is going to sound weird. It just kind of looks like Prime 4. Like it just looks like this is the Switch TOO. This looks like it's Prime TOO. Like it's just, I understand Prime 1, Prime 2, Prime 3 looking more or less the same. It was basically a trilogy. They all came out relatively close.
Very close together, yeah.
They're like 20 years removed since 3 came out, give or take. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was 07.
I would have thought we'd have gotten more of a refresh, similar to like Mario Kart. Like, I understand you're still Samus. Of course, your blaster's going to look, but it just, I would have thought we would have got, I thought it would look a little bit more different. It doesn't really look different. And it's hard to, we've barely seen anything. Like maybe once you actually play it, it'll blow
on a
away,
big screen when it's not buffered.
4K,
yeah.
120. Yeah. So it may be different once you actually play it. But seeing it on one hand, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe we're actually seeing Prime 4. And then I'm like, why did this take this long? Like, this looks like this could have come out 15 years ago. Like, now, again, we don't know anything about the game, but I would have thought it would have looked a little bit different. And Prime Remastered looked beautiful, like beautiful. But this just kind of looks like that. I would have thought we would have gotten, it would have just looked a little bit different. But I don't know. I can't wait. I think, I'm 100% in. I can't wait to play it. I just kind of thought it would look a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm sure it'll be beautiful.
Somebody was saying, I think it was Justin on GameScoop, was like, he almost think, because he thought the same thing, that like, not even so much the graphics, but just overall, everybody was kind of
the presentation
underwhelmed. Yeah. But he was theorizing that maybe because, it got announced in 2017, they announced that they were rebooting it from scratch in 2019. Here we are 6 years later. We're finally starting to see it over the last couple of months.
I almost would have thought this is how it looked before. And they were like, hold on, we got to do something else with it. But then this is just what they ended up coming out with. Like, this almost seems like what they would have canned and then restarted from scratch. If this is starting over from scratch, it doesn't look like you started over from scratch. It looks like you started over from what you already had. So yeah, I'm trying not to like crap all over it. Like, it looks good. I can't wait to play it, but I just thought it would have looked different being this far removed since the last one.
Yeah. I don't think it looks very special. And I think one of the big selling points, or it could be a big plus, or it could just be a meh, is whatever they're doing with these psychic abilities. Because I don't think we we know a lot about that yet. If it's just like for scanning and stuff, I don't know. Either way, again,
I've only showed her doing like the telekinesis stuff where she like pulls into like a ball out of a thing and then launches it into a thing to activate a switch and
Okay.
switch. Yeah.
I hate that there's still
it looks cool.
like somebody was saying they should clap now. It's just like instead of it should be I don't know, because it's like two hands instead of one. I don't know.
Just do this.
That's
That's what they should be doing.
Yeah. Then they did an overview of the mouse control. They showed Drag X Drive, this wheelchair basketball game. I don't think it came across this way, but I wrote in Discord, oh, wow, new Rocket League here. And I almost, looking back, I'm like, oh, man, they probably thought I was being serious. I was being facetious because I was like, this is weird. Like, you've got to, I get it. Like, ooh, you can use the mouse. You hold both mice, and you're like, phew, you got to do this to move. And it's like, yeah, but I don't, if I'm playing a wheelchair basketball game, I don't want to get tired like I'm actually in a wheelchair pushing myself around. Like, I wonder if there's an option to play this game with a controller. I'm going to guess not. They're probably like, nope, screw you.
Yeah.
You got to use the mice.
If you could just play it just moving around with the D-pad, it looks kind of fun. But yeah, I don't want to just do this the whole time I'm playing. Like,
right.
Nah. It looks like it could be a fun game.
Yeah.
It's like Skyward Sword. That's a good game. I just don't want to have to play it that way.
Yeah. Well, and even the new one,
they removed it.
It still didn't work right.
I mean, it doesn't suck. Like
Then it's like games from here on out. And it's easy to tell what this was as soon as you like heard one note and as soon as you saw one thing, it's like, holy shit, they're doing Elden Ring. Now, yes, I realize it's a 3-year-old game, but it's one of the best games ever made. And I wrote here, like, I don't know why this happened. Skyward Sword sucks. Hell yeah, James. I don't know why this happened to me, but I wrote it down because I literally got chills. For some reason, seeing Elden Ring, it was like, holy crap. I can't believe this is even possible.
Do we know what whatever that they called it, the
Tarnished
such
edition
means? Does it include
I assume
Erdtree,
so.
or does it include like, okay, I don't know if that's like, this is the Nintendo version, so we're going to give it a special name, but it's really just Elden Ring.
I assume
maybe it has Erdtree built in.
It must. I mean, because that came out almost a year ago at this point. So they didn't give this a date, but it is coming this year at some point. So yeah, I got chills. I couldn't believe I was seeing it. Then I was so happy to see this, and I know Sean was because he's drafted it 2 years in a row now. Hades 2 was confirmed to be coming out this year on Switch. Now, I didn't go see after the fact if they said if this is also coming to PlayStation at the same time, because remember the original Hades, I feel like it was an exclusive, for like a year or something on Switch. But again, if that is the fact here, I know I'm not going to platinum Hades 2. I will just get it on Switch 2. You know, that's what I mean. Like now I'm like, even if I don't want to platinum a game, I kind of want to wait just so it'll play better over there. But then again, the stupid Pro Controller, I don't know. Hades 2 is coming out this year. Sean, you hype?
I am. I'm hyped for my draft.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the game.
But it's also Hades TOO.
Hades TOO.
Yes.
And I loved Hades. I mean, it was almost my game of the year. I just feel like for some reason I look at this and I'm like, oh God, I loved Hades, but that took me a while to really get into the swing of it. And this looks very similar, so I assume it won't be that hard to get into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm definitely, if this comes out on Switch 2 a while before PS5, I'm going to be torn because I'm going to try to get the platinum like I got on the first one. And so I want it on PS5, but if it's like a year from now, or a year later that it's coming to PS5 or something, I don't know. That's going to be tough.
Next up, Street Fighter 6 is coming to Switch 2. It is so weird. I wonder how long it's going to take us to get into the mindset of, oh, wait a minute. We've got a Nintendo system that can now play third-party games. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to take Street Fighter 6 on the go is awesome. Not for me, because, again, I bought it on PS5. I played it for one stream, and that was basically it. But it's cool to see these coming, and they're there's the standard edition of it, and you can also buy the year 1-2 edition, which comes with all the DLC fighters and everything. They also announced amiibo for Luke, Jamie, and Kimberly. I think some people were like, what the heck, no Ryu or Ken? I'm like, bro, they already did those with the Smash version, so I think it's fine.
Also, no Way of the Hado. I'm kind of disappointed.
Maybe that's the big selling point. That they're just keeping it under wraps for now. Daemon Ex Machina, the sequel, was shown. It's coming out September 5th. I can't remember it was a weird name, but it's the sequel to Daemon Ex Machina. It is coming to PS5 also. I did see that. Are you interested in that at all?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. It's just a mech fighting game. Split Fiction, confirmed to be there at launch. Very cool. EA is back. EA, FC, and Madden are coming to Switch 2. Now that's cool to play Madden on the go. That's pretty fun. However, then I saw somebody tweet like, are we sure that these aren't going to be like the legacy editions or whatever, like the cheap ass version of EA of FIFA that came out on Switch that was like just horrible, and it came out the next year and it was literally just the same game. They just updated literally didn't change anything, and it ran like crap. I'm like, no, I think if they're making a big deal about this, it's because they're actually going to be playable.
Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy Switch 2 edition was up next with enhanced graphics, world transitions, mouse support, and it will be available at launch. This is already on Switch, right? This is just like a better version?
I think so.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 coming out this summer. No surprise there. The Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition is out at launch. Pretty cool. And then I did not expect to see this. Definitely to Switch 2. The only problem is they announced this game 3-4 years ago. We've literally seen nothing. We've still seen nothing. But they announced that Project 007, whatever it's going to end up being called, the James Bond game that IO Interactive is making, is coming to Switch 2. But again, we didn't see any gameplay. I don't know. Bravely Default Remastered Edition Flying Fairy is available at launch. Now, I can't remember if this was originally a 3DS game. Somebody was talking about it.
I have no idea.
I think this wasn't Game Scoop. I think this was not Sacred Symbols. What's it called? Punching Up. I'm pretty sure this is a 3DS game. And one of them was saying, like, I really, really hope that this is going to open the floodgates to a bunch of 3DS games to come over. And I'm like, no shit. Where's my Link Between Worlds? Yakuza 0 Director's Edition is there at launch. That's fine. And then I got so tricked by this because they said a new game that Nintendo is partnering with. And then we see the Koei Tecmo logo on a black screen. The black screen goes away, and all of a sudden, all the Tears of the Kingdom art comes up. And I was like, I immediately forgot that they said Koei Tecmo and that this wasn't a Nintendo game.
What it was.
I was like, oh my God. If you go back to the Discord, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. We're getting Tears of the Kingdom 3 or whatever. And I was like, in real time, I was texting the Discord and I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is going to be another Musou game. And then all of a sudden I see like...
In hindsight, when we were talking about... I think we just did it like unofficially. It was never a real thing, but we were talking about launch title predictions. This was an easy one that neither of us thought of. Like this should have been like it's about time for them to do this, just like they did with Breath of the Wild. And yeah, I never even thought of it, but pretty obvious.
Well, and I saw who is it that I follow on Twitter? I think it was Zelda Universe retweeted a tweet of theirs from June of last year. And they just said, hey, hear me out on this for Switch 2. And it was Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Like they nailed the name, everything. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that was cool. And that was not an April Fool's joke. They actually did. So I don't know. It's out this winter. I'm not going to get this game, I don't think. Now, I did play the demo for the Age of Calamity. And that was cool. And the demo lasted for a while, but I was like, this is just not... It's not what I'm looking for in a Zelda game. It's cool that you can play as Rauru and the original champions and all that, but I also heard some people were saying that like the story of the game, of the first one, the Age of Calamity, was just like super weird and didn't really seem to fit that much with Breath of the Wild. So I don't know. if I were to get this, it probably would be mostly for the story, but then that's a stupid reason to pay $70 or $80 for a game.
Yeah.
Then Switch Online comes up. It will continue on Switch 2. So will the expansion pack. And there's a new benefit for expansion pack owners. And it doesn't cost any more money. And I still cannot believe, but they won't charge any more money for this. But give me $5 or $10 for the stupid World Tour, the Switch Tour thing. What are we talking? Like, this is what I mean. Like, the unintentional comedy from Nintendo is just so weird. GameCube games are finally coming. Wind Waker. At first, when I saw this, I was like, yes! And then I was like, wait, that's the GameCube version. Damn it. It's 4x3. Damn it. It's not going to have the fast sailing. Son of a bitch. Why won't you just put Wind Waker HD on the stupid Switch? And now that dream is probably dead. So I guess at this point, if I want to play Wind Waker, I either got to see if my Wii U still works or just play the original version on this.
I think you should at least try it. Like,
I want to. It's the only 3D Zelda game I haven't played.
Over the graphics.
Oh, at this point, I actually like the graphics.
Yeah. It plays like, I mean, it feels like you're playing Ocarina, other than the sailing, which sucks, but it's not terrible until the very end.
Kevin, you don't know what you're talking about. James, you got to help me out. I don't know a lot of things, so please tell me what you meant. Keep going, Sean.
No, I was just going to say it's definitely worth trying, especially since you can do it for free. I don't think it starts with any kind of goat herding, annoying. Like, I think you kind of get into it pretty quickly from what I remember. I mean, it's been forever since I played it, but...
Okay, so he said the GameCube version is solid.
It's the sailing. I can't do the sailing.
But that's what I'm saying. But then you just said it's only really bad at the end when you're doing the collectathon thing.
Yeah, because you have to sail all over the map and do and sail 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 and like find all the Triforce pieces. During the game, it's like, hey, I want to go from here to there. Okay, wind and blow me west, and then just wait till you get there. But once you're having to like just go all over the map and back and forth, and you don't really know where to go unless you look it up. It's just there's so much, and it's just 90% sailing for probably 2 or 3 hours of game.
Oh my God.
Sail. I mean, I think I never got through it. I got that far and then I never beat the game because I'm just like, I can't do it anymore.
That fight with Ganondorf is supposed to be pretty freaking awesome. I don't know that it's supposed to be as good as Twilight Princess, but it's supposed to be really good. I'm going to try it. Like I said, it's the only 3D Zelda game I haven't played. I at least played Skyward Sword for an hour before I was like, fuck this game. I cannot do this. I hate this game. So I'm going to play it. Also, only 3 games at launch, but that's okay because they're 3 pretty awesome games. Soul Calibur 2, and it's the Soul Calibur 2 version. If you remember, everybody that comes with Link as a playable fighter. I've literally never played this. I think it'll be fun. I was able to figure it out without a guide when I was 8. That's shots fired at you, Sean. James coming in hot. And F-Zero GX.
I was excited when I saw GameCube, but then I started to think more about it. I'm like, I don't know that there's much on GameCube that I really care about. Like, Mario Kart Double Dash will be on there at some point. Smash Melee, I think, was the GameCube one. That'll be on there at some point. Like, I don't need to play those. There's no reason. Like, we've got better versions of those games now.
We already have a George.
Play those. I'm until like they showed at the end, like a bunch of titles, going across.
Strikers, everybody's excited about.
Strikers is awesome. I want to play that again. And Mario Baseball, I'm sure they'll put that on there at some point. Like, I played that game, I don't know, hundreds of hours in college, probably. Like, that will be fun. But I don't think there's that many games on GameCube that I would expect to be added that I'm excited about. But it's cool. I mean, it's more benefit for getting the expansion pack, I guess.
The biggest one for me is the one they're already putting out is Wind Waker. Just the fact that that's there and I can finally give it a try, I'm happy about. F-Zero GX just looks fun as hell.
I doubt they'll do it, but what would really make it worth it, because I feel like I've missed out on this, is if they put the Ocarina Master Quest on.
Oh.
I don't know that they will, but if they did that, I would be all over that.
That would be pretty sweet. Also,
Yeah.
that's another 3DS port. Port those 3DS, the Majora's Mask and Ocarina over to the Switch too, and I will be forever just so happy.
Unclean.
Forever clean, actually. You can customize the controls. I like that. So you can redo the mapping and everything. It is going to be available on launch day. Remember when the original Switch came out? It was like, yeah, Switch Online. You're going to be able to play a couple of Nintendo games, but actually we're not going to put it out for like a year and a half. Or it wasn't that long. Maybe it was September or something like that. It was just a weird rollout. But I'm glad this will be there day one.
And then they added like one game a month.
Yeah. It was like...
Not even. I mean, like 5 games a year or something. Like,
and this month we're adding... 10-yard fight. And they are selling a GameCube controller with the C button. It'll be available on launch day. You can only buy this controller if you're a Switch Online subscriber, and you can only get it through Nintendo. So if you want it, good luck. I'll never understand the fascination with this controller as long as I live. The fact that I can remap the buttons however I see fit with my Pro controller, I'm good. That's all I needed. I don't care about the the GameCube controller. I'm good. Damn, there was something else I was going to say. Oh, the only other game that obviously I would love to be there. I don't think they'll do it. But if it ever shows up as an update, I'm going to drop everything and play through it. Probably in like one day. I'm just not going to stop. Twin Snakes.
Yeah.
I doubt, for some reason, I don't think that'll ever show up, but I hope it does.
Yeah, that would be cool.
All right, next up, Deltarune is coming. So this is the spiritual sequel to, what's it called?
Undertale.
Thank you. Chapters 1 and 2 have been out for a while. Now chapters 3 and 4 are finally coming. I think I've got that right. I don't think 3 and 4 have been out even on PC yet. But chapters 3 and 4 are coming to PS5 also in June, so there's that. GameCube could mean Twilight Princess 2. Again, yeah. Why is Twilight Princess HD not on the Switch? I loved it, except for the stupid goats. The damn goats. Ugh. That game is so underrated. And then they announced Randy Pitchford's there, and he's losing his mind because Borderlands 4 is coming to Switch, and it's coming to Switch 2 this year. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit, this thing is legit. We can't call this thing the stinky Switch anymore. Like, if this can run Borderlands 4, now I don't know if how much they're gonna have to downgrade it compared to PS5 and Series X. But if it can run Borderlands 4, again, we're gonna have to get used to a Nintendo machine that can actually play big time third-party games.
Do you think we get GTA 6 on Switch 2?
No, but I do think we get GTA 5 at some point.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that wasn't there. Like, what the hell? Put it there. Even just put it for $10. Who cares? Just sell some more copies. Civilization 7 Switch 2 edition is coming, and will have mouse controls at launch. There's an upgrade pack. You can get it as an upgrade pack with if you already have the standard edition. Like I was saying in the Discord, this is my chance to finally get a good score for Civ 2 Switch edition, Switch 2 edition. I need it. I mean, it's like at an 80. It's not a horrible score for me right now, but I was really hoping that was going to be a lot higher. WWE 2K and NBA 2K are coming to the Switch 2. That's awesome. And then the stream froze and everybody freaked out. And going to the chat was hilarious. I would go back to like Nintendo's page and I'd click on it again. It's still not working. I hear them talking about Enter the Gungeon 2 and I'm like, I can't fucking see anything. But I was glad that at least it happened to everybody.
Like, imagine if that happened while they were actually talking about like the Switch specs or like Mario Kart World. Like, I mean, of all the times it could have happened, probably one of the better times for it to happen. But
when they were kind of flying through games, yeah. And there was some building kind of like Animal Crossing knockoff game or something there. I can't remember what it's called, but I didn't care, so I didn't write it down. Then there was some game called Star Seeker where you're like an astronaut. I don't know. It was cartoony looking. I don't care. And then they announced, again, talk about games coming to Switch 2. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition will be there day one on Switch 2. Are you kidding me? And it comes with it's the Ultimate Edition, so it does come with, what's it called? Liberty City. No, Phantom Liberty. Liberty City is GTA. Phantom Liberty, the DLC. And then they announced Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate coming to Switch 2. Awesome. No mention of Rebirth. So I do wonder, like, how long does Sony have that on lock? I wonder if it's like 2 years, 3 years. But that's cool. And then we get a sizzle reel. And I'm not going to go through all the games here. But the first thing they show, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess. People really like this game. I don't know. Silk Song confirmed for 2025. Now, I didn't
believe they just buried it like that. Like,
well, because
the way they did Borderlands 4 and Cyberpunk, like, have somebody from Team Cherry be like, "Hey guys, remember this game?
We still exist."
Like, and they just buried it in the sizzle reel. I'm like, what? But once I saw 2025, I'm like, thank God. Like,
me too. 3 years in a row, I drafted this stupid thing.
But I trust them.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
and my God, it looks beautiful. I can't wait.
Yeah, I didn't get the prediction completely right because I did say we're going to get a date. It's going to be there, and we're going to get it. I mean, we got a date. It was 2025, but we didn't get like September 7th or something. I don't know. I was so happy to see that. But also, what was so funny is my stream froze again, and I had to like refresh, and I heard them say Silk Song, and I was like, but as I refreshed, I couldn't hear what came after Silk Song, and I was like, what did they say? And I was like, somebody tell me what did they say? It was like 2025. Okay, good enough. I'll take it. 2 Point Museum's coming out this year. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S is going to be there at launch. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Obviously, we already knew about this. It'll be there holiday 2025. Star Wars Outlaws is there. Another big ass game coming out this year. Then we've got, I'm going to call them this for the rest of my life. I don't care. Nobunga's Ambition Awakening Edition. No, Nobunga's Ambition Awakening Complete Edition is there at launch. Shadow Labyrinth, July 18th. That's the one where Pac-Man. That game is so weird. I don't know. And then Reanimal. Have we ever seen this game before?
I think so, but I might be thinking of a different game. I don't know.
So it looks like it's a limbo ass 3D platformer, not side scrolling, and it looks super freaky and cool.
But hang on, let's go back because we haven't gotten to talk about this.
Nobunga?
I think. Nope. The Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Oh yeah. We haven't talked about this on the podcast yet.
Yeah. Like the fact that we got the new Ninja Turtles game and how good it was. And now this, like, I hope I'm not getting my hopes up too high for this, but like it's up there with, if not higher than Shredder's Revenge because of how good Shredder's Revenge was. I'm like, I was really looking forward to that game and it delivered. So now maybe I've got my hopes too high for this, but I hope it can deliver the way Shredder's Revenge did because it looks awesome.
Yeah, and it is. Okay, that's what I thought. Not only is it being published by Dotemu, which did, or Dotemu, however you say the stupid thing, which did publish what's it called? Shredder's Revenge. It's being developed by Tribute Games. And Tribute Games, I think, were they the devs of it?
I don't know. It sure looked, I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, Shredder's Revenge. There you go.
But then, yeah, I'm all in. It's going to be awesome.
Not only that, did you notice the sprites in this game? Did they look familiar? Spider-Man for sure, because of me playing the Capcom Fighting Collection. That's basically the sprite from Marvel Superheroes versus whatever, or Marvel Superheroes. And then that's what he looked like in some of the MVC games and stuff too. So I'm like,
oh, really?
Like, I don't know if they're able to actually get like full, whatever from Capcom to like use the sprites and stuff, but it looks just like it. It's, oh God, I can't wait. It looks friggin' awesome. I definitely have my hopes up for this. It can't be a miss. There's no way. They won't miss. What are you doing?
I just grabbing a charger.
Oh. Then we get a one more thing. But the funny thing was they did one more thing. I think he actually said one more thing.
A lot more things.
But then a bunch of games after that. What did you think this was?
I think they said,
oh, from our partner.
Our last thing from our partner. Yeah. But yeah, when they said it, I just thought it was going to be like the last thing. But
did you think this was what I thought it was? Now, looking back, there was no way it could have been because Sony owns the IP. I thought it was Bloodborne 2. Well, at first I thought it was Resident Evil 9 because I thought that was Leon Kennedy sitting at the table, and I was like, oh my God, it's Resident Evil 9. I'm like, why is there some weird chick talking and coming up from the floor like magically? This doesn't make sense for Resident Evil, but whatever. What did you think?
There was a part of me that wanted it to be Bloodborne 2, but I think the more I saw of it, I'm like, this doesn't look like Bloodborne 2. Like, it looked very cartoony. Like, it does not look like what you would expect Bloodborne 2 to look like. Even though it's a FromSoft game, they're talking about blood a lot. It kind of sort of looked like Bloodborne. But like some of those creatures were like with like the big like smiley face, and there's like a tear.
It was like wacky
or something at one point. It was, yeah, it just seemed very FromSoft, and it definitely seemed very un-Bloodborne. So once I started seeing those, I'm like, I don't know what this is. I almost hope it's not Bloodborne 2, because if so,
what happened?
What did you do to my boy?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
So it's the Duskbloods coming 2026 as a Switch 2 exclusive. And it seems like this isn't a timed exclusive. Well, I guess everything is really a timed exclusive. You know, that's not a first-party game. But I was still like, holy shit, this looks awesome. But then I read this description. The moon tears will flow for one and one alone when the Duskbloods, a brand new multiplayer game by From Software, is coming exclusively to Switch 2 in 2026. They've described it as PvPvE with multiplayer at its core. I think I'm out. As cool as it looks, I don't even think I'm going to play Night Rain at this point. Like, I don't want a multiplayer game.
Rain, but this is we already have a George. Like, I cannot imagine this game is going to be better than Night Rain. And I'm not entirely sold on Night Rain.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this is going to be better than that. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm probably out. But shout out to FromSoft. They've been busy. I feel like they used to just kind of be like,
how many people work there?
Almost to the level of Rockstar, where it's like, we're not putting out many games, but when we do, they're going to be bangers. And now they're just like, oh, here's another one. Here's another one. You want DLC? Here's some DLC. Here's another game. Like, all right, cool.
The one thing I will say to this game's credit, this is being directed by Miyazaki, whereas Night Rain is not. So this is like their next full official FromSoft game. With him directing it, it's like, oh, okay, so maybe that's the only thing that's making me think, okay, maybe. And then we got one more thing, and this tricked the shit out of me. I really thought when I saw the star, I thought I said Mario Galaxy 3. That was dumb. I was not even thinking of Kirby when he's always riding around on stars like the little shit that he is. Kirby Air Riders coming in the future, out this year. Sakurai is directing this. So any of y'all people that love your Smash Bros, it's going to be a while. You ain't getting that for a long time. I did not know Kirby Air Rider was a thing. I've never heard of this before. Okay, good. Do you care about this? We've already got a George. We've got Mario Kart. Why are you putting this out the same year as Mario Kart?
Kirby Kart?
Yeah.
Like
in planes instead of carts.
I never even knew why they came out with Diddy Kong Racing. Like, why? Just, you've got Mario Kart. Whatever you want to do in these games,
do that.
Do it in Mario Kart. Like, so now we've got a third kart game. I don't know. I could not care less about this.
So that is the start of the decline for me, like I said at the beginning in this show. And then the next thing, I don't know, man. You're stoked, I think. I think most people are. I'm in the minority. Donkey Kong Bonanza. What do you think?
I loved Donkey Kong Country 64 or whatever it was called, like that game.
DK64,
Loved it.
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people kind of didn't. I was shocked. I
Yes,
thought that game
that's
was
true.
like universally loved, but apparently not a lot of people loved it. I don't know that this is going to be as close to that as I would have liked it to be. Like, I want like the sequel to that game. I don't know that that's what this is. I don't know how I feel about just being able to
Break
it
shit.
just seems like it's going to be confusing. Yeah, where you can just dig and break stuff and just go everywhere. I'm like, that seems, I don't know. I feel like you have to somehow control that or put some limits on it. And I'm sure they do. I'm sure when you actually play the game, it probably all makes sense. But just watching it, it seems kind of overwhelming and confusing. But I wouldn't say I'm like 100% in day one, but I'm excited for it. I think it'll be cool. And I like the new the redesign or the design. I mean, it's like old school Donkey Kong again. Like I dig it. I don't know. Looks cool. I mean, I'm not 100% in yet, but I'm definitely interested.
I don't know. This to me, it looked kind of janky, maybe. I don't know. I will say there's clearly a whole bunch of shit going on that you can just basically break it. You can break shit and you can dig shit and you can take a shit probably like. But I don't know how that. There's something that doesn't really appeal to me. And one thing I've heard people talking about a lot, and I don't think either I forgot this, I knew it and I forgot this rumor, or I never knew it and we didn't talk about it on the podcast. The rumor for a while has been that the Mario Odyssey team was working on a 3D Donkey Kong. Now, Nintendo, one of the weird things they do, they never tell you who makes a game until it's out, and then you can look at the credits and see. If this is the Odyssey 2 team, if this is the Odyssey team and this is what they've been working on, that really makes me sad. As much as I think Odyssey was overrated, it's still Mario. We haven't had a 3D Mario now in 8 years. At this point, I think it's safe to say we're not going to get Odyssey 2 this year unless something really surprising happens. We should go on a Donkey Kong voyage and play through all of them. I played Donkey Kong Country 2, James, and Sean says it's one of the best platformers ever, and I just couldn't. Wasn't very good at it. I don't know, man. This is why it kind of ended on a sour note to me, because I saw, obviously, Twitter blew up and everything. New 3D Donkey Kong. Oh, my gosh. But I was like, yeah, but where's Odyssey 2 or Galaxy 3? You know, like, I don't know. It was not, for me personally, it was not a great way to end the Direct. But again, like I said, I know I'm in the minority. So that's basically the end of the stream. And then they show there will be a Switch 2 bundle with Mario Kart at launch, or you can get the Switch 2 by itself. And then the stream ends and they're like, bye, everybody. I'm like, what the F is the price? You're not going to say the price? Are you kidding me? When did pre-order start? What is happening? So after the Direct, they put out these press releases and they update their websites and everything. It turns out the reason they didn't say the price is because they didn't want people going crazy in the chat, is what I would say. We were both wrong. Or actually, you might have said this. I can't remember. My prediction, I said there's no way they charge more than $400 for it. Yeah, I was wrong. $450, $500 with Mario Kart bundled in. You save $30. If you're going to get Mario Kart, just get the bundle. Pre-orders start next Tuesday, the 9th. Sean, price, what do you think?
It's about what I expected. I wonder how much of it is tariff related. Like the yen price, when you convert that, it's like 330 or something.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more here than it would be in Japan. I feel like this is probably how like Australia usually feels, where like games
in Canada,
like
I think
$10 there. Like, so I don't know. Maybe we're finally getting to feel their pain. I don't know. It's 400 and 450 for the bundle would have been nicer, but it's about what I expected.
James makes a good point in the chat that he expected 500 after they said what the specs were. I will say, as we were going through the show, and it seemed more powerful than I thought it was going to be. when I saw 450, it didn't really shock me. I wasn't like, oh my God, I can't buy it now. Like I was like, ah, damn, I was hoping it was going to be 400, but whatever. Then they released a bunch of prices. And again, none of this is from the direct. This is all from after the direct. Bunch of accessories that they're going to sell and the prices along with them. So an extra dock, $110. Now remember, this is not just an HDMI pass-through like the original dock was. And even the original dock, I think, was $70. This thing's doing a lot more, $110. So I'm just going to have one dock in the house. And if we bring it up here to do Let's Plays, I'm going to bring it up here. I'm not going to worry about having a second dock unless you can get one that's, relatively cheap online. That's third party or something.
I'm sure you can get I bet there will be third party ones that are basically an HD pass through that don't
exactly
do the upscaling would be my guess, and that's all we would need for
on this TV. Yeah,
Let's Plays on a little TV anyway. But yeah.
So the Joy-Con 2 are going to cost $90. The Switch 2 Pro controller is $80. So both those went up $10 from the original Switch. James, you really do have 5 docks? I thought you were joking around. That's insane. Switch 2 camera is $60. The 256 gigabyte Nintendo themed micro SD XC card is $55. That's not horrible to double your memory, double your fun. GameCube controller only available if you pre-order through Nintendo. Oh, this came out. So these some of the physical games, if you buy them, they might not actually be a physical game. Some of these they explained are going to be game key cards. And they're different from Switch 1 because some of them are literally just a key to download it. There's no part of the game on the disc. All it does is be like, yes, you own this. At that point, why are you buying anything physically? You're not even buying the game. Right. You're buying a license just like you would if you got it digitally. Anti-scalping. So I saw that Kotaku's going to Kotaku, and they were like, oh, Nintendo's pre-order things are bullshit. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you still exist? Why are you here? Go away. But the anti-scalping methods they're doing they're saying pre-orders are limited to Switch 1 owners that have an active Switch Online membership for 12 or more months, and they've spent, I think, 50 hours or something playing games in the last couple of years, whatever it was. Now, of course, I assume that's...
Wait, I don't know that I've hit that.
You have, because you played... Oh, no, because you didn't... I played Mario and Luigi way more than you did.
Yeah, I think I only got 20 hours into it or something.
Well, I will say this, though. I assume this is only for pre-ordering it directly through Nintendo. Like, I don't think Best Buy is going to be like, let me check your Switch Online membership. How long have you played the system in the past 18 months? So I assume it's just going through Nintendo. At least it's something. I wish Sony would have done more stuff like this. They did put out a list of over 120 Switch 1 games that will have backwards compatibility issues on Switch 2. A lot of there's some games will have startup issues. And
instead of putting out a list of games that will be backwards compatible, there's like, here's a bunch of games that are going to have issues. Good luck. Like, yeah. Why would you put it that way?
Yeah.
And they did say they're working on it, but it's just weird. They're like, here's a giant list of games.
120 games.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Some of them you can't even boot up. Others they'll boot up, but then you're going to have issues when you're playing the game. Like, man. And then they did release accessory compatibility info. As we said earlier, the Pro Controller 1 is compatible, so I don't need a Pro Controller 2. Joy-Con, you can pair them wirelessly. Obviously, you can't hook them to the Switch 2, but you can still use them. That's good. Basically, all the virtual console controllers, not virtual console, all the Nintendo Switch Online controllers, the NES, SNES, Genesis, N64 are all compatible with the Switch 2. Everything else was basically like, nah. Because like, even like the charger, they're like, you can't use this with the dock anymore because this dock requires more power and stuff like that. I was just happy to see that the controllers are compatible. I assume my 8-bit DOE will also be compatible because they put out software updates for those controllers all the time. We did see a UI screenshot. It looks just like the Switch, except the icons at the bottom are a little more colorful, you know?
Yeah.
GameStop said they are offering a trade-in credit. The Switch OLED will get you up to $175. The regular Switch, $125. Switch Lite, $100. I think I said this earlier, but some Switch games will be getting free Switch 2 updates separate from the Switch 2 editions, which could improve performance or add game share support, among other things. And then this, I was like, man, I get why you didn't do it, but son of a bitch. In the Ask the Developer website that they put up after the Direct, the producer, and I forget what his name is, and I didn't write it down, for the Switch 2, revealed that they really did consider calling it the Super Nintendo Switch. And that breaks my heart. But at the end of the day, they're like, basically what stopped them was what got them in trouble, and we didn't remember this because we were just kids. When the SNES came out, so many parents were like, what the fuck? It doesn't play all these Nintendo games I bought. It's another Nintendo. Why can't it play Nintendo? So because the Super NES was not backwards compatible, they didn't want to call this the Super Switch because it is backwards compatible. So that's why they went with Switch 2. Womp womp. I think all these, I think the only thing I really don't know now, I wrote a few questions down, but we know the Switch Pro controller is compatible. I said Mario Kart's 80. What the hell is this, a new standard? No, because Donkey Kong Bonanza is 70. And I said it's cool that Tears and Breath of the Wild, the upgrade packs are free if you got the expansion pass, but what is the actual price? Have they said yet what the price of these are? I mean, I'm sure it's going to vary game by game, but have they said if they're like $10 or $20 or anything?
I haven't seen. I assume 10, but I don't know.
And that's it. Switch 2. It's real. It does seem to be spectacular. And it's almost here. Sean, any closing thoughts?
I don't know. I stand by what I said. I'm excited. I'm probably going to get it. I don't really know why. I have a hard time. Like, I'm looking forward to Mario Kart. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But it's not going to be like a life-changing game. Like, it's not something that I need. And other than that, and same with Donkey Kong. Like, it looks cool. I don't know that I need it. Like, there's still nothing that I'm like, oh my God, that's it. I've got to have it. I don't know why I want this thing, but I do. I think it's, like I said, I think it's FOMO. I know everybody's going to have this stupid thing. Like, and I just kind of want to be excited about a Nintendo console again. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it.
I think the other thing with you, and of course it's not a launch game, but there's no way Prime 4 is going to be anywhere near 1080p 120 or 4K 60 on the regular Switch. That's the one thing that I think would really get you sold on it. But yeah. That's it. I'm excited. This has been a fun episode. Like I said, we want to do this one a little differently than we do normal episodes. There's no point talking about anything else because this is all there is. This is the biggest thing in a long, long time. So Switch 2, let us know what you think. Let us know if you're getting it. Are you pre-ordering it? Are you waiting? All that fun stuff. Thanks for being here. And until the next time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.